Pretty Temple. We are here at the new Vocations Lexington facility, and every day at noon we show you a new adoptable horse. And in this case, Pretty Temple is actually a sneak peek because he's been just finishing up his rehab here. He had a lot of diagnostic work done and they couldn't track down all his issues. But basically what we were looking at was suspensory desmitis, which for those of you who don't know it, that's just basically, in a really simplified version, kind of like having a sprained ankle where you have some irregular fibers in the suspensory, in this case, which is a ligament. But it's less of an injury than, say, a tear. So, very simplified version, kind of like a sprained ankle. So he was, Rick was just getting stronger. Stop, thank you. He also, Rambo is showing off his jockey. It's a new jockey for him, so he's just getting used to how to control Rambo and all his power as a racehorse dog. But back to Pretty Temple. This fine gentleman has been nothing but a really good citizen in the barn. He's quiet. He has to put up with our 2-year-old, unnamed Passion 2018 in turnout. And for those of you who saw the live video that we did with Passion, he can be a bit of a goofball. And Pretty Temple is probably one of the only guys we have who could deal with that sort of tomfoolery day in and day out without turning into a goofball themselves. But he is only 3 years old. It's a 2017 gelding. He stands at 16 one hand, so even though he isn't like a big beefcake of a horse yet, he's got a lot of growing to do, and he stands at a pretty good height already. So I'm going to step out of your way so you can see his conformation. He's got a pretty good versatile build. He has a good neck attachment that could suggest that he could be successful as, say, a show hunter down the road with more muscle and more work. But he also could be a really nice sort of trail pleasure mount. You can see his butt's a little bit higher than his withers right now, which is generally at his age indicative of a growth spurt. He has pretty solid joints. There's just a little baby splint. Or maybe that's a cut. I was noticing that. That might just be a little cut. It feels like a scab. A lot of times we'll see horses who have splints, which is calcification of the splint bone, and they're just bony hard bumps. Somebody's excited. But that's their body's way of just reinforcing an area that might have had just a little bit of impact. So we see that often. But that actually feels like maybe it's just a little fibrous knot and not so much a splint. But Pretty Temple is really, really quiet and kind, like he's being now. He, I think, is actually classified as a dark brown, but it's hard when they're this color, they look very much black. But the rule of thumb for horse colors is that if they have any brown in them, that means they're a dark brown or a dark bay, rather than black. A black has to really be a true black with no brown in it. So he looks pretty much black, but he is technically a dark brown. Pretty Temple is also kind of an old soul. He acts much older than he is. You do. Like, before you saw his age, you like my jacket? Thank you. You would think he's much older. Can I have that back? Thank you. So, what I figured we'd do for you guys today is show you his jog, kind of like we would at appointments. And since we still have a lot of restrictions because of COVID, we're not doing appointments as usual. So we'll jog him. I'm going to pass it off to you, because then I'll give a little bit of commentary as it's happening. And if you could help, just get him jogging. One of the main things I noticed, we'll do a walk first and come back and do a jog. When we brought him over, we gave him a couple months of just 24/7 turnout because he had a pretty extended rehab suggested time. And one of the things we noticed was that he was really sitting on his heels and he had longer toes. And my concern was that it didn't matter how much time we gave him, if we didn't correct that, he was never going to be totally sound. So we brought him into a training stall, even though he's still rehabbing, to really work on his feet. And he's gone from a status of being pretty well, needing quite a bit of rehab time and still not being comfortable, to a much, much more comfortable point. He's still not 100%, so he's not online yet, and he does have another vet checkup, so we can re-ultrasound him and make sure everything is progressing as scheduled. But that's so much better than we had originally seen, and we've seen as a result, he's definitely grown even in his time here, but he's also starting to really fill out. When they're more comfortable on their feet, it shows everywhere. If they have inflammation that is untreated and unresolved, then it will show. Oftentimes their coats are dull, they don't keep on weight as easily, and when they do feel comfortable, they tend to show it from the inside out. So that's pretty Temple in a nutshell. And if you have any questions, are there any questions coming in, Julie? If you have any questions after the fact, feel free to type them in the comments and we'll circle back to it. But this is pretty Temple. He's a 2017 gelding. Pretty near to black color, so he's kind of unique because we see a lot of just bay and chestnut, so he's a little something different. But he's not yet online. He will be hopefully soon. He's still just finishing up some rehab with us, but we wanted to just give you a little sneak peek of this guy because we like him a whole lot. So tune back in at 1 o'clock and we'll have a virtual tour, and Rambo will continue to ride around with his little jockey, so you can just have some entertainment in the meantime. But even if you haven't, if you have seen the other virtual tours before, still maybe tune back in and watch, because every single time we do it, there's something a little bit different. There are new horses, new topics we cover. Every virtual tour has its own spice. So tune back in at 1. We'll have our virtual tour for you, and then please continue to keep tuning in at noon every day. We'll have a new adoptable horse to show you. So hopefully we'll see you soon.